He said, I have to tell you bad news. He goes, you go get a second opinion.
Yeah, really.
He did. He told me, right? He goes to me, any doctor that gives you bad news, get a second opinion.
Yeah, well, that's not a bad idea.
What's the matter?
Huh? I said on microphones. I'm like,
One you're good, right?
He's got you covered.
totally zoned out.
I might as well get that signed. Oh, he's getting busy back here.
The what?
He's getting busy back
It's
here.
getting crowded.
We should probably scoot this thing down that way a foot.
What was that?
This whole thing should probably go that way, 1 foot.
Yeah, this is good.
You almost got a haircut on that wrong.
You know, but I saw that
You
hit,
almost
I'll
got a haircut
testify.
walking under that. Don't hold him up. He's gonna be out of it in a few minutes, so. That was my fault.
Exactly here. It goes down to the basement. There's nothing to grab. It's all skin.
Lenny. Lenny. Sorry.
Pardon?
Got to sign. Second or third page.
That's the one we didn't find?
Yeah. I sure.
Looks like nobody signed it.
I were, yeah. Well, it was like, oh, yeah, she told me she got paid. I said, oh, yeah, taking it down.
Mike found it,
Like, did you find it?
the page we couldn't find.
Okay. You got better eyes than us, I guess.
I don't know.
I have to hire him for reading my
There's
plans.
another accident on Tilson.
Can't see when the ball goes out no more.
Yeah. The other, Kevin. You never
Hello
answered
there.
email.
Isn't he terrible? Thank you. There's another accident on Tilson.
Yeah, number 12. 12 months.
Wow. Get hurt? Anybody get hurt bad? Or?
Not bad, but. Like I said. Yeah, Mike probably gives him a tip, they should
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? You need this one?
This meeting is being transcribed and summarized.
Hi, Mark.
Mark, Carter, let me know you're ready. We're almost there. We got, oh, we got 4 minutes.
We should talk about what day?
How do you escape in there within 2 minutes? Nobody does that.
No man of many skills.
Yes, you are.
That's good. You gotta teach us all that skill.
I hope it does.
Hello, John.
Hi, Mike, how are you?
All right.
a little scratchy voice?
Yeah.
All of it.
I'll tell you what, that rain cleaned a lot of the pollen, knocked it down.
Kept it down.
Yeah, you had it a few weeks ago.
Hi, Sean.
How are you, Sean? I think I'm pretty good, I think.
How are you?
They tell me I'm pretty good. I don't know how, I'm not convinced of that.
What's that?
Something like that.
And then when I asked him what
Hey, Jim, are we good at all?
I was sitting at the computer
Are we good at all four now or not?
Two.
Okay.
She's not here yet.
I see. I see the dynamics now.
So the resolution itself doesn't have to date, it'll just date the certification. Everything else, but the paper, everything else.
You ready? You get that ready, right? Margaret?
Okay, let's call to order today's Town of Lloyd Town Board Workshop for May 7th. We'll start off with Councilman Frano lead us through the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, John. Okay, pretty packed agenda for a workshop today. We're going to start off, though, with something that, is a great thing. We're going to start off with a presentation to Julie Kelsaw Dempsey. She's in appreciation of her 35 years of service to the Highland Public Library. And I know most of the people in the community that I talk to love the library. They use it. They love the activities. They love the programs. I think when the new building went in, I think that was 2015 or so. I know Julie was there then and was an integral part of all that. So, as I said, it's integral to our community. She's been a key resource. I think the library is going to miss her. So we really appreciate it as a town, and we wanted to give you a certificate, and I'll read it first, and I'll come on and give it to you. So it says, Certificate of Appreciation is in recognition of your 35 years of outstanding dedication, service, and leadership to the Town of Lloyd's Highland Public Library. Town of Lloyd values your efforts and initiatives to grow, engage, and support every resident, young and old. Your accomplishments and contributions will have an everlasting effect, and we thank you for all you've done for your community. Congratulations, and thank you for your service.
Oh, yes.
I still, I'm not dressed for this.
Well, we gotta go.
I'm not dressed for those either.
That's all right.
Yeah, that's good.
We all use the library, so I'll come board.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. I'm sorry.
I love this thing.
Thank you very much.
Okay, and we are going to jump ahead one more time here. As normal we have people who are on duty now, we don't want to hold them up in the meetings. So we're going to pull up and jump to resolutions E, F, and H first. So we'll take resolution E. Can I get to accept the resignation of Philip LaDuca as a part-time police officer effective May 7th, 2025 at the recommendation of Chief James Janso?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, you've resigned. Okay, we'll move on to resolution F, to hire Philip LaDuca as a full-time police officer with a starting salary of $58,941.25 and a start date of May 8th, 2025 at the recommendation of Chief James Janso. Can I get a motion?
Second.
Second by Mike. All in favor? Aye. Aye. All opposed? Okay, congratulations, full-time officer LaDuca.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Stay safe out there.
Thank you.
Okay, and then we'll move to Resolution H. And this resolution is to hire Gabriel Crespi as part-time dispatcher at a rate of $19.82 per hour with a start date of May 8th, 2025 at the recommendation of Chief Janso.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, congratulations, Gabriel. We appreciate it.
Welcome aboard. Good luck.
Thank you.
Gonna dress like that? Look good.
No, it's all of them. I got one more coming later on.
Yeah, the other one's late, so we'll just do all three of them. If Jim wants to take, you want to do a picture of him, Jim?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Go back on patrol and then
Yeah.
if you want to do one more.
You have to break.
You gotta go back to work, LaDuke.
How's he gonna go back to work?
He's gonna start today.
Very good.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we're going to move forward now. We have a presentation. I know in the Environmental Conservation Committee that Neil Curry chairs for us, he's had a student intern from Vassar, Sophia Henderson, and she's been doing some climate action in the town of Lloyd, and I believe she's done some greenhouse inventory. It has a presentation that you have in front of you. What's that? Yeah, you have to come up to the podium, Sophia.
I'm just gonna take a second to.
Okay.
bring up the slides.
Push button in the back.
Okay, great. All right. You don't have the slides? Oh, you do? Oh, great. Okay, I can put this away. Thanks, Mark.
And we all have them here, so I think, yeah, we have them here too, yeah, so we're fine.
So,
You don't have?
I'll just take a second to introduce Sophia. So I'm Neil Curry. I should speak into this, right? I'm Neil Curry, the chair of the Conservation Council, and like Dave said, we're been working on Climate Smart Communities program, which is a program the town entered into, I think, a year or two ago now. And so there's a number of actions, prescribed actions in the program. You complete those actions, you get points in the program. Those points lead to certifications. So we haven't gotten any certification yet, but just participating in the program and engaging in points earning actions. One, it's just a good practice to do because all of those are intended to help lower the town's greenhouse gas emissions, but also It opens up opportunities for technical assistance
Okay,
and
it's up there.
technical assistance and funding for the state, from the state. So there, for a lot of grants that the state offers to do all kinds of things that you may not necessarily think of as climate smart community stuff, but stuff that the town's interested in doing anyway, to save electricity or save energy or to improve infrastructure, that becomes part of the scoring that's used for a lot of state programs when they're considering grant applications that the town's interested and the town has pursued over the last few years to get those grants to do those projects. So,
Okay.
So yeah, I'll leave it up to.
Oh wait, Neil, can I actually see my computer?
Okay, gotcha.
Will I be able to tell you when to like? Okay.
We can give her, I can give her my hard
Just
copy,
say
we
no.
can look at that. I can give her my, one of us give her her, we can look up there.
Oh, you got a hard copy?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay, thank you guys so much for, letting me take the time to present on the climate action work I've done for the town of Lloyd. So I'm a senior bachelor college student and I'm an earth science major and I have like a specific passion for GIS and climate action work at the local level. And I'm from South Carolina, so I've actually only been living in the area for about 4 years and this is my first time actually driving through the hamlet with Neil and it's absolutely beautiful. And so I'm excited to share with you guys what I've done here at Vassar for the town of Lloyd, just looking at the climate action work. So my first semester, my fall semester, I was working with I was working with Neil doing a community greenhouse gas inventory. And what's awesome, sorry, I should have said, you got me. Thank you so much. And what's awesome about the community greenhouse gas inventory is you can earn up to 12 to 16 climate action points. And these climate action points is what Neil was talking about with the Climate Smart Communities program, where you basically earn points for doing climate action work like a community greenhouse gas inventory. So what's important about a community greenhouse gas inventory and why would we want to do it? Well, what's really great about this inventory is that it helps us establish a baseline of where emissions in Lloyd are coming from, and then that helps the town focus on where do we need to focus our reduction efforts on these emissions. And it's also just a great log to catalog, a way to catalog where emissions are coming from and knowing where to take action. So to do this report, I followed the Hudson Valley Regional Council's community greenhouse gas.
I think it's next slide, Margaret.
Sorry, what was that?
Just
Oh, sorry. Yes, I followed the community greenhouse gas report template. And yes, looking at these pie charts, we can see from both of them that the biggest slice of emissions is coming from transportation. And then looking at the next biggest slice, we see homes using energy for electricity and heating is the next biggest emitter of emissions. And lastly, commercial buildings such as businesses are the third biggest emitters of emissions. So that's where we really wanted to tackle. I was thinking, okay, so transportation, moving on to the next slide, thank you. Looking at transportation as our biggest emitter of greenhouse gas emissions, I kind of wanted to look at ways that we could potentially mitigate this. So I know on this slide the numbers are so tiny and I apologize, but if we look at the highway 44 and 55, that big number, which is 41,000, is the daily traffic coming through that area. And then if we look at Route 9W, it's 26,000. And then, of course, if we look at the Route 299 going into New Paltz, it's around 16,000. So we have a lot of transportation cars driving through the town. So that's not necessarily the town of Lloyd's, fish to fry. But I think if we communicate with, the state and county at that level, improving upon transportation would be a really good opportunity to take. But looking at what the Lloyd can do specifically, I looked at Lloyd's Smart Growth Comprehensive Plan, which is a really in-depth plan that I enjoyed exploring and looking into. And I found this map on the right, which is kind of showing the land use in Lloyd. So if we look, basically a zoomed-in version of the square and the map on the left is the map on the right. So if we zoom in, we can see that The hamlet area is mostly made up of commercial buildings, residential buildings, and community services, and they're very like densely populated, which is a great place to like kind of focus our efforts on making the hamlet area more walkable and more bikeable, because we have Route 9W cutting through, so we have a lot of transportation coming through. And then we also have that Hudson Valley Rail Trail. It's kind of in green on the map on the right coming through. So they kind of meet together, and it's like this perfect kind of intersection of cars coming through and then people coming through on that Hudson Valley Rail Trail. So this is like a great place where we could focus to make this area specifically more walkable and bikeable. And that's also good economically because we have a lot of businesses here, as you can see with the commercial businesses. In red, the commercial buildings. So it would be good for business if we just have like a kind of more inviting, walkable and bikeable area. So moving on to the next slide. This kind of just emphasizes already how good the hamlet area is for improving upon its walkability and bikeability. Because we have that Illinois State Park too, which has a hiking trail connecting to it from the Hudson Valley Regional Rail Trail. And we also have this biking loop in green that connects to the Hudson Valley Rail Trail. So we have a lot of connection of hiking trails, biking loops, and of course Route 9W. And also this Hudson Valley Rail Trail is amazing in the way that it connects New Paltz and it connects Poughkeepsie. And so it all coming together kind of in the Highland is a great area to focus. If we move on to the next slide, that in the Smart Growth Comprehensive Plan that I looked at is that there's this program. It's called the New York Forward Program. And this is a potential boundary that Lloyd would want to use if we applied to this program, which this New York Forward Program is awesome because, and it's very competitive, because it's basically a grant giving like millions of dollars to improve upon sidewalks, hiking trails, signage, and helping small businesses. So with all that I've said in like the last few slides, like it would be awesome if Lloyd would be able to continue to like explore this potential opportunity to get the New York Forward grant.
Yeah, we did apply for it, and we did not get it.
We didn't get it?
No.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Didn't have your presentation then.
Well, sadly, to like kind of finish off my presentation and wrap up real quick, I didn't want to forget here on the next slide, I wanted to talk about, our second highest emitters, which is residential and commercial energy. So I was thinking basically finishing off my last semester after submitting my greenhouse gas inventory report, which is now under review by the Environmental Conservation Council, which Neil is a part of. I decided to kind of explore, solar panel installation. And right now, the town is installing solar panels on the highway garage. We received a $100K grant. But that did only cover half of the cost. So there is a long return on investment, which right now I think it's about 18.5 years. So the town right now is trying to get another $100K grant to kind of cover that cost. So solar panel installation is a great way to have cleaner energy delivered to the town, and then also it's more efficient, cheaper, but it does take a while to have that return on investment if you don't have the resources such as the grant money. But it's still something worth to continue pursuing. So I'm kind of excited to see where the town takes it next after this solar panels are installed on the highway garage. And then of course, because solar panel installation like on your own home can be pretty expensive and kind of takes a while to get that return on investment, it's not for everyone. So there's also community solar, which if you look at the figure on the right, it's a kind of a very like easy, simple diagram kind of explaining it. So I looked into this with Neil, is having residents of the town of Lloyd be able to like sign up for a solar farm, a local solar farm in the area. And then they have kind of like basically a share of the solar farm, and they're paying that solar farm to actually like deliver clean energy to them. And they are able to get credits on their utility bill for doing this more efficient, cleaner energy, and has the potential to like save money on their utility bill. But that can vary seasonally because, in the winter, maybe there's less sun coming down, there's more snow. So it can be a little, it varies like your bill. Your bill's not going to see the same reduction every month. So that can sometimes have customers a little confused when they're promised like a cut in their bill, but then it varies a lot. And Neil's in the process of signing up for a solar farm right now, and right now the process, it's a little slow and it takes time, and sometimes communication with the customer service can be a little difficult, but I still think it's something worth pursuing and looking into with the right amount of resources and the right amount of time, of course. And finally, on the last slide, I just wanted to look at like just another opportunity or another example or resource that we could look into is the transition to heat pumps, which are so efficient and much cleaner than using like gas to heat your home. And there is a climate smart community program that does support installing heat pumps, which I did not get to explore too much this last semester, but I think looking into it as a town would be a great idea also to kind of help lower the residential and commercial energy emissions. Yeah, and that's basically my presentation. Thank you so much for listening.
So the heat pump program you said is through the Climate Smart Community?
Yeah,
'Cause I haven't heard of it, yeah.
It's a climate action that you can take.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Any-
we can talk more about that at the next ECC meeting, Dave.
Okay.
It's something we're looking into. The community solar didn't seem like all that it was cracked up to be.
Right.
We were looking at it as a potential cost savings, especially for low and middle income folks. But because the process can be a little convoluted and takes a little while, we didn't want to try to promote that.
Yeah, I actually saw something out from Central Hudson today where they were actually promoting their own community solar program, so,
If you have the time.
good and bad, I think, you know,
Yeah,
that's,
if you have the time to go through it, which I'm
Yeah.
in the process of doing now, and I know there's been folks in town who've gone through that, great, and it'll probably work out, but it's not something that we want to
Yeah.
promote specifically to low and middle income folks and not be a positive experience for them.
got it. Does anybody on the board have questions for Sophia?
No, just thank you
Yeah.
for your awareness and all your work.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, truly appreciate it.
Tiffany, Mike, anything? No, yes, thanks for doing it, and I'm
Thanks
sure through
again.
Neil
Good
we'll
luck in the
we'll hear
future.
some more. Thank you. Okay. Thanks, Neil and Sophia. Okay, we're gonna move on to, local law B. And this is the local law to, amend chapter 18, officers, and employees of town Lloyd, code to enact a new article, residence requirement for deputy highway superintendent of town of Lloyd. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Okay, motion second. All in favor of opening the public hearing?
Aye.
Aye, all opposed? Okay, the public hearing's open. Is there anybody here who came to speak, on local law B? If not, we'll leave the public hearing open until later in the meeting, in case anybody walks in late. So what we'll do is we'll go on to the department head reports, and Gerardo, I don't believe has anything for us, and we went through the supervisory report was sent out, so Margaret, I don't think there's anything new on budget, so why don't we go straight to building and zoning with Mr. Barton?
Thank you. This is the time of year, those of you who've been with me for a long time know that I do this every year. It's time when people start putting up their temporary pools that they bought at Walmart.
Yep.
Those pools require a permit. If they can hold 24 inches of water and they have an electric pump, you're required by New York State to get a permit for those. Those little pools also require a barrier. Anything that holds 24 inches of water requires a barrier so that little kids don't come and drown in them. And we're a little uptight about that in the town of Lloyd. No drowned kids on my watch if I can. So if you had a permit last year for your seasonal pool, the one you take up and put down as the year turns, you still need a new permit for this next year. And that new permit just confirms that all the safety pieces that were given, that you did last year, are in place again. The burn ban is still in place until May 15th. That doesn't count for recreational fires and things like that, but we're still no burn until the 15th, unless it's been really wet, but still no burning until the 15th, unless things change. Last month, my office, the three of us completed all of our New York State required 24 hours of training. There was a conference in New Paltz the three of us went to. Anthony gave one of the classes on mechanical inspections. Very well received. Anthony does a good job when he does that training. Now he's got the other training that he's doing now for the CSEA as well. And then, Mike, you asked about this earlier, and it's on your agenda tonight, which I'll talk about in just one second. 224 Vineyard. Those of you who remember last year, I came before you with an investigation where we looked into 224 Vineyard Avenue, the old Albano house, where the roof had fallen in onto the first floor, and the first floor was in the basement. Well, now the roof is in the basement as well. So at that time, we sort of punted because we believed that there was a sale imminent to a local developer who could very easily go in, demolish the house that's sitting there now rotting, and replace it with something. That sale never manifested, so I am doing this again, hopefully to light a fire. As an update, since I've talked to the developer and the property owner, Frank Albano, a demo permit was pulled today for that building by Sal Cusa Jr.
So it was pulled by the buyer?
By the buyer,
Okay.
but Sal is the one who kind of
Right.
is doing that piece. I am going to suggest and advise still going forward with your declaration that the building is unsafe. There's no, since the demo permit was pulled, there's no reason not to do this.
Right.
So if the things don't actually manifest and the house goes away, at least we can still act, you can still act, so I'm recommending that on the 21st of this month, you have a hearing. It's not a public hearing, it's just a hearing.
Right.
Where the property owner or other interested parties can be heard on the matter of the order of removal, repair or removal. And then after that hearing, there's 30 days, the owner has 30 days to remove it, which is hopefully where that demo permit will kick in. And then 30 days after that close of 30 days, the town board can act to hire someone to go in and remove it ourselves. The cost of all that is assessed to the property taxes, so ultimately we get it back. Unfortunately, it's a cost up front.
Right.
We've been dealing with this since I sent you around the investigation. We started this in 2020. So 12/30/2020 was the first day I created a complaint, yeah. So that's why I feel like, even though the demo permit's pulled, I would recommend still going forward with your declaration. And because it's so late in the agenda,
It's in here, yeah.
yeah, I would love for it to happen sooner than later. Hint, hint, wink, wink,
What's
wink.
in both of their best interests, actually, to do it?
No question, no question. And look, if the sale's gonna happen, and, that's great.
Yeah.
If not, we can still do our piece.
When you say the permit is pulled,
Yep.
pulled as
Yep, we issued a demo
taken
permit
back
today.
or issued?
Issued,
Issued.
Yep.
means- Issued means pulled.
pulled and taken away out of my hands.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pulled from you, given to them.
Yeah,
Got it.
issued today, I signed it today, and they have it in hand. So now I'm hoping that dumpsters are being dropped at the site as we speak,
Good.
with a machine with a thumb going in to take it to pieces. It's in bad shape. The mushrooms are large, becoming sentient. And that's all I got. Any questions?
We have questions for Dave?
Good, thank you.
Thanks for the
Yeah, thanks, Dave.
clarification.
Okay, I don't see dog control. I don't think we got a report this month from him. We'll move forward to highway, Superintendent Klotz.
Good afternoon.
Hi, Rich.
Good afternoon, sir.
Just waiting for the weather. That's all we're doing now. We're still out cleaning ditches, and a lot of trees came down this week, so,
I saw a few of them. I did see a couple.
and doing that stuff. Pavers, we're supposed to start today, and they're 3-4 days behind, so now I'm looking at one day to start paving.
Okay.
And we'll get the first round out, done.
Yeah, I saw commercials pretty much ready, right?
Yeah, it's all ready. I mean, just gotta get them here to do it.
Okay.
Because
And which roads? I know Willow Dock. What other?
Old
road?
Dock, Commercial, Phillips,
Ose
Ose,
and Sunnybrook.
Sunnybrook,
All
part
of,
of-
okay, so, boom.
part of Francis. So that's the first round, and the second round
Great.
will be in August.
Yeah.
So,
Good, now we'll get all the speeding complaints, because the roads
Oh,
are
yeah.
paved.
Right, yeah, right.
or you inconvenience me because you're paving.
Yeah, well, you handle that. You handle that one.
We'll send them to you. We'll send them to you, Rich.
Yeah, well, that's the way it is, you know? They complain with the potholes, then when you go to fix it, they complain. We did the one wall up there, that came out pretty good.
It did. It came out good, and not only that, the visibility is night and day on that side right now.
Yeah, so as soon as I get the paving done up, we'll go up and do the other
And you
side.
said you wanted to take one block off the lower one too, right?
Yeah,
At
well,
the end?
I'm thinking it'll help you.
I think it will too. So we should, let's, maybe you and I go over and look at it next week sometime.
Yeah, we can, give, Pete, Christiani a call on
Yeah.
that. and-
We can do that, yeah.
All right, and see what he thinks.
Okay, and then we have to hire somebody to do the striping also, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. See, that's a little,
What's
that's a
that?
little shady in my book, you know?
There's like 3 resolutions on this.
Okay.
The guy's sidewalk, where the lions are,
Including one I'm going to do.
it's awful steep.
Oh, yeah, he wants,
Right.
he wants mulch put in there instead of grass, so. I'll give him red, he wants red mulch. So, that sidewalk's pretty steep too.
Okay.
Alrighty. All right, anybody got any?
Anybody have questions for Rich?
No,
No,
thank you,
Richie,
Rich.
thank you for grabbing all the bags from the community
Yeah, just
cleanup
give me
this
a call A
weekend.
little earlier, like Monday
Okay.
morning, this way, you know,
Okay.
the guys, what are all these bags doing out here,
Yeah.
you know?
I appreciate it, though, thank you.
All right.
There were quite a few people out that day cleaning up. I saw, when I was driving through, I saw people with bags and vests and gloves and,
Yeah.
cool, that's very good. Thank you.
I got an email today from Dave on, Golden Hill up there about the sidewalks. Did you
Yeah.
still look at it, Dave, or?
Yeah, I got it. Wanted to have a discussion with Sean on that too. Did you see that?
I talked to Dave a little bit about it. I'm not sure exactly the procedure. Actually, I forwarded the email to Paul, too.
Okay,
So
Paul
we
Van
have to
Cott.
do, it's in the right of way. The question is, I'm not sure if we have to revise the map, the site plan.
Okay.
So I reached out to, I took your advice, I reached out to Paul, I haven't heard back.
Yeah, I saw the
The other question I had, and I was talking to Dave a little about it, and Richie, you may want to weigh in on this, is, since the primary use of this is for Golden View to get, to Silver Gardens to go back to the trails at Franny Reeves, should we also ask them to maintain it and have a maintenance agreement?
Yeah, we got enough troubles up there.
Yeah, that's-
Don't we, Leonard? Yeah,
I mean, they're really putting it in for the benefit of their residents. It's not really what I would call
That's gonna be open to everybody.
it's got to be open to everybody,
I
yeah.
think we agreed to the town taking care of that.
No, it was never in the plan, Mike,
Oh,
this
okay.
sidewalk. This is a whole new sidewalk they want to put in.
Okay.
Whole new section, right, that wasn't in the plan. That's why the question, I think that Sean asked and Dave asked is, it doesn't have to be in the site plan. They have to revise it. But the primary reason they now, because it's a change order in their work, and the reason they want to do it is to give access to, I think, Golden View to Franny Reese Park.
Golden View, and then also down to the new crosswalk that's there.
Right.
The new building, so that people from Golden View can get down that new sidewalk,
Right.
crosswalk, and then down the Hannaford.
So public will have access to it, it's just, it's something that wasn't in the plan, and it's another section of sidewalk to maintain, was my question, Mike, if there's a way, I don't know the.
It's a thought. Like I said, it's not on private, it is in the right of way.
Yeah, it is in the right of way.
But, yeah, certainly it is a thought, because like I said, it is benefiting the residents. It's open to the public.
Yeah.
It's the main purpose is.
The main purpose is for the residents, right?
Yeah, in fact, there's no connecting sidewalk beyond that,
Right,
beyond the driveway for Golden View.
right. Okay, so I guess more to come on that then. All right,
Yeah, but you don't want maintenance on it.
right. Okay, any questions for Rich? From the board? Okay, thank you, Rich.
All right. Thanks, Rich.
I think we got Jones' report. We'll move on to Chief Jansen.
I have my other plans here if you want to.
Yeah, you want to do that now? We can do that. we can move forward to, Resolution G. So it's a resolution to hire Dwayne Clark as a part-time police officer at a rate of $27 per hour with a start date of May 8th, 2025, at the recommendation of Chief Janso.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Aye, all opposed? Okay, welcome aboard, Dwayne.
Best of luck, thank you. Welcome aboard.
Thanks for coming to Highland.
You got it together, Wendy? You all right? You all right over there?
There's 3 resolutions that aren't on the agenda. I don't know if you didn't get sick.
Okay, so we can catch them.
So when it comes
Okay.
to that part.
Okay, thank you. All right, Chief, you can finish your report now.
I appreciate that. Our monthly activity report for April 2025, we had 1,165 calls to service. Out of those calls, 39 were accidents, 35 were property damage, 4 were personal injury. Our department issued 132 tickets for the month, 1 parking ticket. We had 18 arrests for the month. Some of the activities for April.
It's actually a
were-
busy arrest month, wasn't it? I was reading some of the reports.
This last week was a little busy.
Yeah.
It's that time of year. It's May. Flowers are blooming. People are out. Human nature. We got it under control, though. We got a good bunch of guys. April 1st, we had Cops and Coffee. April 3rd, myself and Lieutenant Rollison attended Minnesota Region Stop DWI Conference for an award for former officer Cole Nicholas, who was highest in the county for DWIs. So it was an impressive event he had. April 9th, we had a Youth Rec League at St. Augustine's Gym. April 14th, we started a new Blue Envelope program for individuals with autism. All the information is on our Facebook page if anyone is interested in it. It's a great program. I'm proud of it. April 19th, we delivered Easter chocolates to our Project Care members. April 24th, myself and Lieutenant Rollison attended the 2025 Ulster County Traffic Safety Bus Driver of the Year Award, which went to Highland bus driver Mary Duca, who had 40 years as a bus driver. Pretty impressive. We think our job is tough. I don't think it's as tough as being a bus driver nowadays. April 26th, we had our 4th annual Cops and Bobbers Youth Fishing Tournament at Berrien Park. We had about 85 kids and their families attend, even though it was raining out. I guess it's better in the rain to fish. I didn't get any. That's okay. I'll be back. But Sergeant Miller put it together again this year, so he did a great job. We had a barbecue. Everything was donated by Hannaford's, a lot of sponsors, the Rotary, Dutchess Beverage gave all the drinks, so we had a good time. So thank you, Sergeant Miller, for putting it together. Training, Sergeant Miller became, he's a firearms instructor. He went to another state certified instructor, updated, and Sergeant Vale attended reality-based training instructor course. Overdoses, we had 2, no Narcan uses.
Okay. Any questions for the Chief from the board?
Just one comment, Chief, if your patrols could increase around the pavilion, unfortunately, we starting to see some vandalism.
Okay.
I think Friday night, maybe last night some more, just,
What did they do? Paint or burning or just?
well, one table, it's not destroyed, but it has to be rebuilt.
Okay.
Of course, writing on the tables. Last night, they sprayed some kind of foam stuff.
Okay. We'll make that aware.
Like you say, it's spring, the kids are out and doing foolish things. I hope it's the kids, I don't know. But pavilion here in town.
The new one? Okay. We'll make sure we give attention to that.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I think that's it. Thanks, Chief.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Okay,
Thank you, Mr. Miller. Wonderful job up there with those
Yeah,
kids.
good job.
yes, it was.
You gotta teach the chief how to fish though, Chris. He needs a little help.
Okay, Recreation, I know Frank could not make it tonight. Wendy, do you have anything new for anybody's town clerk? A report?
Just that we picked up our unpaid tax bills from the county a week or 2 ago and mailed them out, and then found out that the county sent us the 2024 unpaid tax
Saw
bills.
that.
So that was a lot of fun in the office. So then we had to go and do it all over again, so the 2025 unpaid tax bills went out. And it was
Okay.
currently at 1.4 million.
Okay, and moving ahead, I know did go to the Ulster County Supervisors meeting. Most of the talk there was still around the resolution that the legislators waiting to do on the EMS support for the towns, so we're waiting on that. And I think there's a resolution also for them to pay this year's mortgage tax, which I think we came in like 242,000, which is pretty good, perhaps just a little bit above budget. Okay?
Hey, you want to mention the grant, the 10,000?
Yeah, I have that on old business here. I'm doing good. Don't get ahead of me. Okay, so we'll move forward to water and sewer with Superintendent Lippman.
Good evening, Adam Littman, Administrator for Town of Lloyd Water and Sewer. I'll start with the water start with the water department, and yes, Sean, they are on full reservoir water. They have been since March. As of this afternoon, the two most upper reservoirs were both coming over the spillways. The two lower reservoirs are at near full capacity. I suspect we'll be on there for a while. Still, the production time is averaging about 10 hours per day. We don't have the well pumps running because we don't need to. So we've shut them off and given them a rest. Earth Care, still pumping sludge from the water plant nearly on a weekly basis. I got some things to talk about when it comes to projects and some other stuff. Road crew, I didn't put a lot on the report. Needless to say, it's mark-out season. They've been extremely busy. I can't even keep up with them. Sewer department, it's the normal daily operations. The crew in the last few weeks has been finishing up the secondary aeration to try and reduce VODs, TSSs, and strip ammonia. Our last couple of rounds of ammonia samples have been very positive, and even some of the in-house we're not showing any. So the time and the experimenting, and there's been a lot of it, to try and get the aeration work properly has proven to be good so far.
Good.
So we did have a compliance inspection with DEC the week before. He pulled out his list of non-compliances from the year before. I pointed to some of the efforts we're trying to make, with chemical addition that they've approved, and more aeration. So I'm hoping to get a better result this year. So let's talk about some of the projects that we've been working on. As you know, our blending tank, I've talked about that a little bit. In the recent months, I wasn't here last month to probably reiterate on that. I got some quotations. One is for a repair and relining. Just the base price alone starts at around $121,000. A replacement of that tank through statewide aqua stores starts at around $340,000. We need this tank to survive the water plant. Without it, we cannot run water. Me and the crew have been discussing a few different things. We are looking at some of the older systems in the water plant to try and figure out how to gravity feed number 4 into the plant to compensate for potential renting of a tank, piping, and stuff like that. So we've made some progress with that. I think in the upcoming month or so, we're going to send out one of our altitude valves to have that rebuilt, because that's an important piece to be able to gravity number 4. Either way the project turns out, if we were to get that in line and make it to work, it would save us cost of energy and pumping for the reservoir. So that would also benefit us in another way.
Yeah.
Bridgeview Pump Station, I signed a quote with Coaster about 7 weeks ago. They told me that the parts would be in between 5 and 7 weeks. We're kind of right up against that mark now. I sent them out a couple of emails. The supervisor's been anxious for me to give them some information. They said they'd get back to me. We're still surviving on one pump. I don't want to jinx myself, so I'm not going to say anything more about that. Our centrifuge, we've talked about that. So our centrifuge is manufactured by the Sharples Company. It was installed in the water plant about 1984. It's on the second story of the building. We've had conversations with the Sharples Company in the recent months. They wanted us to pull and send the entire unit to them. We explained to them that logistically we cannot do that. The building was built around it, so it has a chassis, a gearbox, and this rotating assembly. So on the 24th of April, Mr. Dave Merritt from Sharples met with Frank Palmetier at the water plant to assess our centrifuge, its location within the building. Mr. Merritt made us an offer to ship the rotating assembly when he was there from our building to Pennsylvania to Texas to their main plant. I agreed to pay the inspection fee with him of $2,500. So this rotating assembly is now in Texas. They are taking it apart. They're gonna do an evaluation and offer us a quotation. If we choose to repair it or go with them, they will take that $2,500 and they will apply it to the cost of what it costs to have the rotating assembly and possibly any repairs to the gearbox. They're also handling the trucking for us. This was a huge logistical trying to figure this out. Most trucking companies didn't want to be involved because it would have to go from us potentially to Texas if we were to send it to them. We're having a really hard time trying to find a courier to do that for us. They came and got it. So I spoke with the supervisor. I got his permission. I didn't think that they were going to offer that to us today at that particular point in time, so I told them yes. So I should have some type of results in the next couple of weeks of what their findings are. Fingers crossed it's nothing too major, because the average rebuild, they were saying, could be between $30,000 and $40,000 just for a rebuild of this unit.
And what's the time frame to do a rebuild? Did they tell you?
The one thing I can say about the Sharples company and what Mr. Merritt's saying is if we choose to move forward with this, he will expedite everything within his power to get us up front. You know, so right now it's still kind of a waiting game. It's been several weeks since they've had it. So I'm hoping to hear something fairly soon.
When will you hear about the inspection? Oh, okay, fairly
Yeah,
soon, okay.
I'm still waiting to hear from them.
Okay.
So, the John Pisani Hudson River Pump Station Generator Project. So over the past couple of weeks, Central Hudson installed the gas service line, and the meter stubs. Hudson Valley ECM, which is the general contractor, has installed the underground conduits, and they poured the concrete slabs for the project. So there's been a lot of activity going on down there. I was kind of surprised Central Hudson was there. You couldn't even get around them that particular day. Yep.
Yeah, we drove down and looked at it, so it looks like it's ready, waiting for the generator.
Yeah, so at this point in time, that's what we're waiting for. We are waiting for the generator. Still could be another half a year.
It should be it should be closer. We should get an update on that, because it's been almost a year since we accepted the bid now.
Yeah.
They said 52 to 60 weeks, so
Yeah,
we
yeah.
should start pushing on them for that.
Right.
Where
Speaking
it's
to
at.
Mike, you know, from Hudson Valley, he's hoping it'll be in soon.
Yeah, I would think it should be soon, right? So we should start trying to get at least an update on it.
Okay.
Right. And then the bid for the one at the water plant, are we moving that out 2 weeks? Is that official? The one for the water plant, we were talking about moving the bid out and putting an addendum to move it out 2 weeks. Did we do that or not?
I believe we're in the process.
Still haven't heard back from Mark Long with the addendum yet.
Yeah.
Okay, but you gotta do it quick, because it's due next week, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we need to chase Mark down tomorrow and then Adam.
Okay.
Make sure we get that done.
Yes, I'm hoping with it being up on, I'm sorry, what's the website called?
BidNet.
BidNet.
Yeah.
Because as of right now, I think we only had one potentially interested candidate. I don't know if they're, so.
Yeah, apparently these type of jobs are all busy right now. People are busy. They don't want to bid on stuff. They don't have the resources.
And I think unfortunately with the delivery times of the generators, they don't want to be involved
Tied
in a
up, right.
project that could take 3 months to do and then be stuck in a project for over a year.
Right.
So I think that's really affecting us too.
Okay.
That's what I have. Is there any questions?
Questions for Adam?
No, sir.
Keep
Okay.
working. We're gonna try and get some more, we're gonna try and put in for some more grants for all this, for some of the water infrastructure stuff that we know we have to work on. It's,
I did send an email to Mr. Davison at,
I saw that, yeah. Good.
okay, just to try and get more of a plan and an idea of the blending tank kind of in order.
Right.
So that eventually we can try and make a decision on what direction. we-
Yeah, it looks like you're still gonna need some sort of engineering report. It's just maybe it can be brief and not cost us a fortune.
Yeah.
That's really the intent.
Yeah, I expect he'll give me a call at some point in time. I mean, to be honest with you, we are going, you know, everything that I've collected and kind of
Yep.
sent to him, you know, we're gonna have to talk it over. You know, they're gonna have to offer something because that, you know, on our behalf, they will send that to Department of Health.
Right.
They will ultimately have a say whether
Right.
either one of
Right,
the projects
right.
that we're
So it's good to
looking
get
at.
it up front now anyway.
Yeah,
Okay.
so because it sprung another leak today. All right, have a good night.
Thank
Thanks,
you,
Adam.
Thank you.
You're leaving, Adam?
Oh, yeah.
Adam, we're gonna have some discussion on the the Twaskill.
Okay.
Yeah, you might want to stay for that. Since it's your sewer line, it could be
My sewer line.
taken out. Okay, we're gonna move forward to, old business. And, you know, we've been working through this, plan on undergrounding the electric service in town based on the FEMA grant we got a year or so ago. And looks like the Central Hudson's now done with the design, so we have to go back to FEMA and get their approval. But we are starting to send out some letters to some of the residents in town. Of the 60 services, 45 of them, they don't have to do anything to change their service. It will automatically be switched over when Central Hudson hooks up. There's 15 of them that we do have to have the services changed, which is actually good because we thought it was all 60 at first. So, so we did send them letters to let them know that, you know, our consultant and engineering team will have to get in and look and see what they have now to figure out, you know, how extensive their change is. So if you hear about, the reason I'm bringing it up is if you hear somebody got a letter on it, that's why they got it. Okay, and maybe, Margaret, we could forward that letter to the town board so they're aware of it. 'Cause
And
we
the
just
only letters,
find it.
the ones that.
Only the
are
ones
affected.
that got affected, and then we have to come up with a communication plan for everybody once we get some tentative dates, et cetera. Okay?
Yep.
So any questions on that? If not, we'll move forward. New business, and Dave was mentioning this before, he kind of jumped ahead my agenda on me, but I know what spurred it was John talking about the vandalism, and I think as we talked in the past, we've already got cameras at Tony Williams, and we want to get them in all the parks. In order to do that, you need an internet connection. So it had to be about a year ago, I put in a grant I saw this foundation grant and I put it in. It was for extending wireless service, right? And it was supposed to be closed by last August, and I never heard, so I figured we didn't get it. And I got a letter last week saying we did get it. So it's a $10,000 grant, so we'll use that to get cable run to the other 3 parks. And then we can work from there on getting cameras installed. So we get cable run there, get an internet and wireless connection so that we can add the cameras to the rest of our parks and hopefully thwart off some of the vandalism that we're seeing. So that's positive news. We got that. I think it's the landing, Berry Ann, and Town Field. We already have it at Tony Williams.
Right.
And also out at the Caboose. That's the ones we're gonna look to put.
And they'll be monitored, they're monitored at the police station?
Yeah, yeah, the same as we have today. Be the same system that was the town hall and the other parks are. Okay, so that's what that's about. Now, let's go into, and Mike brought this up and asked Adam Stay for it. There's a letter that we received about the Twaskill Creek and some deterioration and worried about collapsing the hillside there. And I know I went down and looked at it, Lenny and I went down and looked at it, I know Mike went down and looked at it. There is a problem there. We do have a sewer line that runs right through that comes down from Washington Avenue. So probably, I don't know if there's easements there or not, Sean?
Is that again?
I don't know if there's easements, if we even have easements there.
We'd have to look.
Yeah.
How far- This is down at the bottom, right?
This is
About midway, right?
midway through.
Where Bellevue comes down.
Yeah, right where Bellevue comes down.
Right.
Right behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty
Behind it,
bad.
yeah.
There's a culvert pipe coming in there, right? Or a
There's-
pipe?
There's a sewer pipe coming from West Ham, there's a culvert pipe coming under River Road that goes under the property and comes out on that hillside. There's some drainage that comes down, I don't know whether it's from that house or from somewhere else, it kind of looks like it runs off of there. So it is deteriorating, I went down and looked at it, it is deteriorating.
The bank has deteriorated, and just downstream a little further is the sewer line. And there's a couple of manholes there. Adam was there, he saw it. So how many houses come off of Washington Avenue, that sewer line?
So the sewer line that crosses the Twaskill, that's in her property, everything comes off of Washington Avenue. So you can imagine all the sewer on Middle Grand.
Oh, Grant.
Everything converges.
That's a main.
Comes down Washington Avenue.
just not
goes
just
down the
Washington.
embankment, and actually comes down through there.
Right.
So there's probably quite a few homes. There's probably at least 60.
Yeah,
So,
that's a
you know.
main there, yeah.
What
It's not
size
just
line is
Washington,
that?
right.
The stuff that's underground is 8-inch clay. What is suspended in the air, I'm pretty sure is 8-inch iron.
Eight-inch iron.
So then there is concrete ballast that are there. And just from my own personal experience, what we've learned from storms in the past and Twaffleskill Stream and this particular sewer line and easement, as you can imagine, River Road goes like this. Of course, the stream follows it, crosses under, follows it the same direction. This particular property becomes like a buffer. So as the Twaffleskill comes down, it gets into that turn.
Right.
After the hurricanes and tropical storm, there was a lot of repair work done there. So I don't remember if it was private, I don't remember if it was town assisted.
Town did it.
So the walls around her property, when that stream begins to take that turn, were restacked. Today, they are beginning to be impacted by the storms again, so the walls are slipping.
Right.
Eventually, that turn goes away and everything starts going right for the sewer line.
Right, and where the baluster holds it up.
Correct.
So it has to be diverted again to the left.
I think in 2013, I got a grant from FEMA. To the first curve washed out,
Correct.
Yeah.
and they wouldn't let me go any farther. I had to stop at her property line, because they won't, FEMA won't give the town a grant, you know. I found that out when I took office.
Right.
The work that was done that wasn't supposed to have been done, and the town never got reimbursed because FEMA won't cover. If they went to FEMA, they'd probably get money.
You mean the residents?
The property owner? Oh, okay, so you can't use FEMA grant for private property? Ah, same as.
How about if you had a right of way through it or an easement through it?
Then you gotta buy the right of way. You gotta buy all the way.
Yeah,
There's probably floodplain issues involved.
yeah.
That's what I was
So we have to be super careful, because no development can occur in a floodway,
Right.
which is the area, the creek.
So, I mean, so realistically, even a FEMA grant, it will take a while to get it.
There's some engineering that's gonna be.
Yeah, there's some engineering has to be done, and it will take a while to get it. So I guess the question is there anything we should be doing temporarily while we do the engineering work and while we do while we try and get the grant? As Adam or Rich, I mean, is there something temporary we should put there, any type of barriers or anything we could
The
do?
only,
only thing, the only problem you got is getting in there. That's
Oh.
the problem.
You got that
Getting in
right.
there from, oh, yeah.
How you gonna, you know,
Right, you can't come in from the bottom and get underneath the sewer line to work on a wall.
you can't get down in the crack.
Right.
The machine you're gonna need to reach down that far to pick up those big boulders that are laying all around that slip down the hill, you're gonna be knocking the corner of her house down.
What about if you go on the other side of the bank of the Twaskill?
How you gonna get over there?
Off of Bellevue there?
No, if you try to come down off of Bellevue, you can't get underneath the sewer line
Go around?
with a machine.
Oh, all right, so maybe, all right. We gotta take a look at that.
Yeah, it doesn't look like the easiest place to
No,
get there.
it's difficult.
Well, the thing is that the bank is starting to erode
Yeah,
dramatically,
It
so,
is.
so,
that's why I was asking if there's something temporary we can do.
I know.
And if you notice where it eroded in the middle, all right, where it sort of started it and worked its way this way and that way, that's where that pipe that comes next to the house, and it was just a corrugated thing, and it was laid down, and as the water went down, it just kept swishing the dirt away. Right, when I went there with her, I said to her, I said, listen, I said, the bottom line is you kind of should pick this up and at least put a straight pipe out so it's still washing the bank down.
Well, I think a lot of that water's coming off her house.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there's a couple little things there.
Well,
Right.
yeah, well, you also got the stream, that's where most of the water is.
I understand that, but if you look the way it's washed out where that pipe comes right down next to the house, you know, and
So
and
maybe you
goes
get a little bit there, and then you get.
No,
the
no,
stream.
listen, something has to be done, because
And then
if
there's
that whole bank goes, it takes the, baluster down that's holding the pipe up, and we're dumping,
Yeah.
you know,
And it
all of
looked like
that,
it-
right into the creek.
It looked like there was a pipe also, a corrugated pipe coming from the manhole through the
There's a catch
ground
basin.
out into the creek, huh?
There-
That's facing in
yes.
on her property,
Right.
on her property it is.
See, I don't remember that drain. There's a drain next to her sidewalk. I don't remember that when we used that as a warehouse. I do not remember that drain being
Somebody
there.
had to put it in.
Covered.
Covered up,
Pardon?
it's always been covered up.
It's covered up now.
Yeah, well, she's trying to keep the water out of it to wash any more of the wall away.
Covered up right
I
now.
didn't know it was there until I went down with Mike. Never knew that was there.
Yeah, it's covered right now.
Yeah, she's trying to keep the water out of it because the water's washing the bank away. I can understand that.
So I guess the question is, what's the board want to do? I mean, do we get an engineer to start looking at it? I think we have to at some point, because you're not gonna get a grant either unless you have some engineering, but you're saying she needs to get a grant, Rich?
It's like, we went down and seen James.
Yeah, we did.
If there is a FEMA anymore.
Right, but there is a fee.
Yeah.
They're paying, we just got a rebate from them for the generator last week. So I guess the question is, what's the board wanna do? We wanna start some engineering
I
work
think we
on it?
I don't think we have much
You got a
choice.
choice. We got a choice.
And then maybe the engineer can help sort out the private-public aspect of it, and I think we need to find out what's in the deed there. I know Dave sent us a survey, an old survey.
Oh, you have an old survey?
He sent it to us. I think you were a copy to that.
I mean, was there any, were there any right of ways?
No.
The other thing, I mean, you could have a title company do a search for it. I think you're right, what are you gonna do without engineering, you don't know what to do.
Right.
You know, if we get the deeds, get a title company, they'll let us know if there's any right of ways, easements.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually, after spending time with her down there talking, I mean, if she needed to give us a right of way or an easement or whatever, I mean, I know she would be more than, happy to do it. But, so do we put a limit
time to
on,
sign papers.
how much we're gonna spend on the engineering to get this started?
Well, I think we get a quote from them first. We get a quote from the engineers first,
Right.
and then we'll go from there. Then we'll have to bring it back here.
Yeah, I think take the normal route for,
Yeah, because I have no clue what it would cost, so we'll ask them what it would cost, and then we'll see.
Okay.
So we have, so I'll reach out and get that piece started.
So,
I mean, I did that whole corner.
right,
I think it was the rocks were the big thing, and the machine, because I had Sacone do it. We got rocks from you.
right. I put 7 loads down there.
Did you do it from above?
Oh,
Yeah, but how are you gonna, now, you can't get behind your house because the well's there.
yeah.
How you gonna get in there to do it?
And the
After
generator.
the 2 inches of rain's coming, it might be a lot easier to get to it. And I hate to say that. But the streets are high.
I was impressed with the cables holding up your shore lines attached to the
They've
ballast.
been there since probably 1934.
I figured that, yeah. I mean,
So,
It's been there forever.
yeah, a lot of people think it's a bridge. It's actually not.
No, it's
Yeah.
not.
So,
That's gotta be replaced soon, because you're starting to lose the end of Washington Avenue. You've seen it a couple times, haven't you?
yeah, we've had to do repairs on that before.
On that line?
So,
It comes down to the end of comes to the end of Washington Avenue at the dead end, takes a
Right.
hard
Right.
right-hand turn and runs diagonally down the bank.
Oh, okay.
It's a clay pipe that they must have pinned to the bank. I don't even want to really say it's buried, and unfortunately it's clay. We've had to get in there and unearth it by hand, which you have to tie the guys to a tree so that they can find it, take it up and fix it. It is definitely a challenge. That's a piece that should be lined, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so I think we gotta start.
so do we
get
need a
it again.
motion to look into it, or we just,
Well, I think we do the motion when we get the proposal
no,
back,
I'm
right?
saying to look into what can be done.
I think you're gonna
yeah, I don't think
get
to
some quotes,
explore
right?
it, you don't need a motion.
Pardon?
You gotta get an engineer.
I don't think we
right?
need a motion
Gotta get an
to,
engineer, and I think once we do that, then we'll need a motion to decide what to do.
once we get some estimates, I
We didn't
think,
spend
then
any
we
money
de-
yet.
definitely need to.
Right.
Just tear up the road and
Okay.
put in a new sewer pipe and just take that line.
Love it.
Not
I
that-
think, I think you should be the project
There
supervisor.
you go, Wendy. It's your project. You got it.
Okay, so Richie, she wants you to build a whole new road there. All right, anything more on that, or we'll start the engineering? So we'll reach back out to Cynthia also and have another discussion with her. Okay, we'll move, privilege to the floor. Good night, Adam.
Good night, Adam. Thank you.
Nobody privilege to the floor, we'll move to motions, resolutions. Resolution A is to approve the following budget amendments for 2025 CHIPS project at the recommendation of Richard Klotz, Highway Superintendent. You can see him.
Motion.
Second.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Resolution B, Safe Streets for All, that's actually gonna be on the 521 agenda. We got the bids back and we're working with the people sending bids to see where we go with that, but I have a meeting tomorrow to start sorting through that. Okay, resolution C is to accept the resignation of John Rockwell effective May 16, 2025 at the recommendation of Adam Littman, Water Sewer Administrator. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
With a heavy heart, motion.
I think Tiffany motioned, so you can second it then, Lenny. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, and then, resolution D is to accept the resignation of Baron Rockwell as full-time police officer effective May 8th, 2025 at the recommendation of Chief Janso.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Okay, we already did E through H. Resolution I, whereas the Town of Lloyd Events Committee has organized Spring Fest to be in the Hamlet of Highland on May 17th, and whereas Hudson LLC Milton Avenue are planning to attending and have requested permission from the town board to sell beer and/or hard cider at said event in a designated roped-off area, and whereas the town board is desirous of granting said permission, now therefore be it resolved, the Hudson Ale is hereby granted special permission to sell served beer at Springfest in designated roped-off area on Saturday, May 17th. Be it further resolved that this special permission is contingent on Hudson Ale providing documentation to the town that they have obtained the required permits and/or licenses from New York State Liquor Authority, and they have the necessary insurances in place. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, motion carried. Okay, motion J. This is the postage from January 1st to April 30th. So the resolution is to approve the budget amendment to move funds for postage as shown here. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Okay. We haven't closed the public hearing yet, so should we do these ones? You gave us these two new ones, Wendy?
I was just gonna throw them on the end.
Okay. So before we do the resolution, K, we have to close the public hearing, correct? Okay, so nobody's come, to speak on it, so can I get a motion to close the public hearing on local law B of 2025?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, public hearing's closed. We're gonna move on to resolution K. Whereas local law B 2025 to amend chapter 18 of the Town of Lloyd Code to enact new Article 3 resident requirements for Deputy Highway Superintendent to provide Deputy Highway Superintendent for Town of Lloyd need not be a resident or an elector of the Town of Lloyd, provided however such person, if not a resident of Town of Lloyd, shall reside within the adjoining municipality located within Ulster County. This was introduced at the 16th day of April 2025 at 7 p.m. and a public hearing was held on the 7th of May 2025 at 4 p.m., which time all interested persons were given opportunity to be heard. And now therefore be it resolved, the Town Board of Town of Lloyd Local Law B 2025 being acted in the form attached to Schedule A and fully set forth herein to provide that Deputy Highway Superintendent of the Town of Lloyd need not be a resident or elector of Town of Lloyd, provided however that such person, if not a resident of Town of Lloyd, shall reside within an adjoining municipality located within Ulster County. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay.
Is that an appointment?
It will be an appointment.
An
yeah.
appointment?
It will be an appointment, yeah. Which I'm sure we'll do at the next meeting. Okay, resolution, it's not labeled, I'm gonna assume it's resolution L, it'll now be L. So it's a resolution to hire the following summer fund staff, and you can see all the names there and the salaries, both for Berry Ann and Summer Fun Sports Camp, Summer Fun Arts and Crafts, directors, and directors sports. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, all opposed? Okay. Next resolution, L, which is now M. Is the authorized supervisor named Jill Delgado to the Assessor's Board of Review, replacing Peter Brooks.
Motion.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, all opposed? Okay, motion carried. M, resolution M, which is now N, was in light of the investigation in the unsafe building at 224 Vineyard Avenue, Highland, New York, submitted on May 7th by David Barton Building Department, the town board hereby determines that the house and the property is in total failure. It is therefore an unsafe building and declares its intent to issue an order to repair or remove the house in its entirety. Now therefore be it resolved to set a hearing for May 21st, 2025 at 7:00 p.m. to hear a response in the matter of an unsafe building at 224 Vineyard Avenue, as required by Chapter 44 of the Town Lloyd Code, to send notice to the alleged owner of the date of the hearing so that they have the opportunity to be heard. Notice shall be sent via email, served personally, and served at the property with a placard attached to the house by the building department. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, resolution O now would be to approve the painting of murals on the New Paltz Road Tunnel on Hudson Valley Rail Trail. Can I get a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Okay, a little bit discussion. Peter, you want to explain what you're doing to us?
Okay, good.
Aren't there two tunnels on the trail?
Yeah.
You do both of them?
I can go
So
tell us.
on the rail trail behind, underneath, where the Phillips is, the Di Lorenzo tree, the graffiti's been under there for 20-plus years before we even developed the trail. We're hiring an artist to do 2 murals right now on, we primed it. One is going to be a picture of Weeds Mill, which was right there to begin with, and the other is a train of that era. And then we plan on doing 2 more, but not exactly sure what they have. We'll come back for that.
Cool. Okay, anybody have questions for Peter? Any?
Cost, is there a cost to this or?
Well, these 2 are costing us $5,000 for the 2.
Each or combined?
For the 2.
For the two.
And the next 2, Patty Scott would pay for. He's volunteered that.
Wow.
So it's been a long time on that tunnel. I didn't want to just paint it a blank thing and then, you know.
Okay, so before you get to the next 2, we got to talk about process and how we do that.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Anybody have any further questions?
Since you already have cameras out there, can't put a camera up there peeking in?
So Patty Scott had bought some camera type of things. I haven't been able to install them.
Okay.
Is this the same tunnel they're asking for lights?
No.
No, that's the one by 9W, I think, that they're asking for lights.
Yeah, because if you look at one of the pictures on the front wall, you can see how dark that tunnel is.
Yeah, but it's closed at night, so
Right.
you mean, you know, I don't know.
There's no electric there, so.
Right, no electric there either. Okay.
Thanks.
All right, any other questions for Peter?
Thank you, Peter.
So we should vote on it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? We're good then?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't hear everybody, it's my own fault.
Oh, sorry.
No problem.
Softly
I said
down
it.
at this end.
Okay, and I guess there's two motions you gave us here, Linda?
So there's piggyback back on the Spring Fest, I don't know what happened, I apologize. There are two more resolutions, one for the closing of the streets and the one for Bad Seed Cider to be there to serve cider, hard cider.
I thought we did that.
Yeah, we did Hudson
Oh, okay.
Ale.
We did Hudson Ale. Okay, so let's do that one. So again, the resolution to close Main Street from Church Street to Vineyard and Vineyard Avenue to Milton to Woodside Place from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. for Springfest on Saturday, May 17, 2025. No parking on the above-mentioned streets from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. for Springfest. Also part of municipal lot near the town field from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. So the motion is whereas the Town of Lloyd Events Committee has organized Springfest in the hamlet of Highland on May 17th, whereas Bad Seed Cider, 43 Bailey's Gap Road, Highland, are planning on attending and requesting permission from the town board to sell beer and or hard cider at the event in a designated roped-off area. The town board is desirous of granting said permission to said businesses as requested. Therefore, be it resolved that Bad Seed Cider is hereby granted special permission to self-serve beer at Springfest in a designated roped-off area on Saturday, May 17, 2025. And be it further resolved that this is contingent on Bad Seed Cider providing documentation to the town that they have obtained the required permits and or licenses from the New York State Liquor Authority and they have the necessary insurance in place. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Okay. And then there's one more resolution that Wendy passed
This
around.
is, what is this, permission to do the work for the culvert?
It's called, it's to apply for the contract on the court. We never, we prepared that resolution for last meeting, apparently never did get on the agenda.
From March.
Oh, I thought we did it.
That's,
I just sworn we did it.
I thought we did it too.
I thought we proved that too.
But we'll do it again if we can't find it.
Yeah,
It's not.
I suggest we do it right now.
Okay.
Do it again.
do it again.
Okay. So the following resolution authorizes the implementation of funding of 100% of
Another
the
meeting?
cost of a transportation project of which qualified costs may be reimbursed from Bridge New York. Whereas a project for the Vineyard Avenue Twaskill Creek Culvert replacement, Town Lloyd, Ulster County, PIN number 8763.68 is eligible for reimbursement of qualified costs from Bridge New York funding that calls for the post-reimbursement apportionment of the qualified cost to be borne at a ratio of 100% Bridge New York funds and 0% non-Bridge New York funds. Whereas the Town of Lloyd will design, let, and administrate all phases of the project. Whereas Town of Lloyd desires to advance the project by making a commitment of 100% of the cost of preliminary design, detailed design, right-of-way A, construction and construction inspection work for the project. Now therefore, the town board duly convenes, does hereby resolve, the town board hereby approves the project, is hereby further resolved, the town board hereby authorizes Town Lloyd to pay 100% of the cost of preliminary design and the right-of-way work and construction inspection work. Resolved that the sum of $1.5 million is hereby appropriated from
General fund, I think, right?
from general capital fund, and made available to cover the costs of participation in the above projects. Further resolved, town board hereby agrees the town of Lloyd shall be responsible for all costs of the project, including costs which exceed the amount of reimbursement available from New York Bridge funding awarded to the town of Lloyd. It's further resolved that the bet of the projects exceeds amount appropriated, town of Lloyd shall convene as soon as possible to appropriate said excess amount immediately upon notification of highway superintendent, and I'm sure he'll keep it under cost. And it's further resolved that the town board hereby agrees that town of Lloyd hereby commits the construction of the project shall begin no later than 24 months after the award, and the construction phase of the project shall be completed within 30 months. And it's further resolved that supervisor is hereby authorized to execute all necessary agreements, certifications, or reimbursement requests with New York State DOT and state aid and for Bridge New York funding on behalf of Town of Lloyd in connection with the advancement or approval of the project, providing administration of the project and municipalities funding for the project. Further resolved, Town of Lloyd will be responsible for maintenance of the project, and further resolved, a certified copy of this resolution will be filed with New York State Commissioner of Transportation by attaching it to the necessary agreement in connection with the project. Further resolved, this resolution shall take effect immediately. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Can I get a second? And can I get a roll call?
Farina.
Yes.
Walchuk.
Yes.
Akmoody.
Yes.
Guerrero.
Yes.
Rizzo.
Yes.
Okay, motion carry. And nothing else on the agenda. Does anybody on the board have anything else they'd like to discuss or in public or not in front of us? Unless you want to bring it up.
Well, yeah. Where are we with the crematory, or where is the planning board with it? I mean,
They still have the public hearing open.
okay, so nothing
And the zoning board, I think, has a hearing tomorrow night.
tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night.
Zoning board tomorrow night, and I think planning board left their public hearing open. Their next meeting will be the 22nd. So it's not a town board action, so it's before the planning board and the zoning board. Only in front of the zoning board because it was appealed, so they have to rule on it.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you all for coming.
On a personal note.
I signed a check.
We have, like many people, very convoluted. I had 3 children. Willie has 2 children.
Oh, the nuns used to have the pointer when I was a kid, you know? You had a, the pointer.
Friday night, walkway.
Come and sit down.
Hospice.
Some of that had reaction.